That's my little brother, Charlie. That's what he said when the Sunday school teacher asked what was his favorite thing about church. Charlie said, no herdments. That made the teacher mad, because all the other kids said nice things about God and Jesus and good feelings. But old Charlie told the real truth. No herdments.
But I don't care what he else said. That's what they really thought. All that other stuff's okay. But the main good thing about churches is that the herdmans aren't there. Ever.
That doesn't seem to me to be a very Christian sentiment.
Well, it's a very practical sentiment. Poor Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman in school.
Is he the worst one, Leroy?
They're all the worst ones.
But Ralph's the biggest. So if Ralph gets you...
That doesn't make any difference. Gladys isn't big, but she's mean, and she's fast, and she bites.
I'm sorry I asked. Just stay away from all of them.
That's what I said. Stay away from them. Go to church.
I'm glad to hear you feel that way.
Why?
Well, no arguments this year about the Christmas pageant.
Oh, I don't want to be a shepherd again.
Well, tell Mrs. Armstrong that you want to be a wise man.
I don't want to be in it.
You have to be. Just think how I'd feel sitting there on Christmas Eve if my own children weren't in the pageant. Think how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob?
Well, actually I didn't plan to go. You know how crowded it always is. They can use my seat. I think I'll just stay home. Put on my bathrobe, relax. There's never anything different about the Christmas pageant.
There's going to be something different about it this year.
What?
Charlie is going to wear your bathrobe.
You just thought that up, Grace.
Why don't you be Joseph? Elise Hopkins will pay you $1 to be Joseph. Elise is sick of being Joseph all the time, just because her mother's a minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
Beth, what are you going to be this year?
I'm always in the angel choir.
Why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because Charlie can't sing.
From what I've heard in the past, that's not a serious drawback. Away in the manger always sounds to me like a closet full of mice.
What do you wear in the angel choir anyway?
Bed sheets.
Oh boy, bed sheets or a bathrobe? Come on, Beth, let's go watch TV.
You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to give everyone a lovely experience.
Oh, Mom. Miss Armstrong just likes to run things.
She's right, you know. Miss Armstrong directs the Christmas pageant. She's in charge of the bazaar. She's chairman of everything. Why, I think Helen would preach the sermon if anyone would let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yes.
Well, maybe she'll try to manage the hospital, because that's where she is. I saw George today at the drugstore, and he told me that his wife broke her leg this morning. She's going to be in traction for 2 weeks and laid up until the first of the year.
Oh, the first of the year? Why, they'll have to cancel Christmas.
She's in charge of Christmas?
No, but she directs the Christmas pageant. She's chairman of the bazaar. Why, I feel sorry for Helen, but who is going to do all these things?
Yes, I'll take over the bazaar, Edna, if you'll do the potluck supper. I don't know what in the world we're going to do about the pageant unless... How about Grace?
Oh, I just can't, Edna. I've got company all Christmas week. How about Grace?
Hello? Grace?
Bob,
What?
I have to direct the Christmas pageant.
Does that mean I have to go?
Our Christmas pageant isn't what you'd call four-star entertainment. Miss Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. It's always the same old Christmas story, and the same old carols, and the same old told Mary and Joseph. And that's what my mother was stuck with. That and Miss Armstrong.
Let me just tell you, Grace, how important it is to give everybody a chance at a part in the pageant. Here's what I always do, hon. I always start with Mary, and I tell them, boys and girls, we must choose our Mary carefully because Mary was the mother of Jesus.
I know that, Helen.
And then I tell them about Joseph, that he was God's choice to be Jesus' father. That's how I explain that. You know, frankly, I'll never spend much time on Joseph because it's always Elise Hopkins, and she knows all about Mary and Joseph.
I thought Mrs. Armstrong was in traction. How can she talk on the phone if she's in traction?
What do you think traction is?
It's like when they put you to sleep.
No such luck. Beth, could you get some salt and pepper, please? And napkins?
But I do explain about the shepherds and the wise men and how important they are. And I tell them there are no small parts, only small actors. Oh, Grace, do not let the angel choir wear earrings. And tell them not to stare out into the audience. Oh, and don't let them wear clunky shoes or high heels up there. Oh, I just hope you won't have too many baby angels, Grace, because they will be your biggest problem.
You will leave some for the rest of us, won't you, Charlie?
I'm hungry. Leroy Hurton stole my lunch again.
How can you let him do that to you day after day?
Well, how can I stop him? And where's the chicken?
Grace, where's the chicken?
It's in the oven.
I guess I'll go get it.
Now, Grace, you will have to get somebody who can push the baby angels on stage. Otherwise, they get in each other's way and get their wings all bent. Oh, Bob could do that. And he could keep an eye on the shepherds, too. Oh, and another thing about the angel choir, do not let them wear lipstick.
Helen,
Honey,
someone's
they
at
think
the door.
because
I
it's
need
a
to
play,
go.
they've got to wear lipstick. And
Helen,
it looks
Helen,
just
I'll
awful.
talk to you later.
Now, you just tell them.
Coming.
Lady, could I have some supper? I haven't had a square meal in 3 days.
For heaven's sakes, it's just you.
I was very lonely at the table.
Well, I guess Helen's lonely at the hospital.
Not as long as the telephones are working.
I'll bet she told you about there are no small parts, only small actors.
And getting someone to shove the baby angels on. And make the shepherds shut up.
She suggested your father.
Does that mean I have to go?
Don't get just any old baby to be Jesus. Try to get a nice, quiet one. Oh, better yet, get two if you can. And that way, if one of them turns out to be fussy, you can just switch them.
My mother didn't pay much attention to Miss Armstrong. She said Miss Armstrong was stuck in the hospital with nothing to do but think up problems. And there weren't going to be any problems. Of course, Mother didn't count on the Herdmans. That was Charlie's fault.
Hey, Leroy, you give me back my lunch.
Yeah, here.
You stole my dessert again.
How do you know?
Because it isn't in here.
What was it?
2 Twinkies.
That's right.
You know what? You think it's so great you steal my dessert every day, and I really don't care. In fact, I'll give you my dessert. I got all the dessert I wanted in Sunday school.
Oh yeah? What kind of dessert?
All kinds. Chocolate cake and candy bars and cookies. We get refreshments all the time. All we want.
You're lying.
And donuts and big wheels.
Who gives it to you?
The minister.
Why, is she crazy?
No, she's just rich.
Sunday school.
That was the wrong thing to tell Herdmans. And sure enough, the very next Sunday, there they were in Sunday school, just in time to hear about our Christmas pageant.
Would
Like on TV? What's it about?
It's about Jesus.
Everything here is.
And it's about Mary. Mostly it's about Mary.
Who's Mary?
I am. Well, probably I am. I know the part. I am. Well, probably I am. I know the part.
Come on, Beth, Charlie, come on. Now, this won't take long if we all settle down. Today, we're going to decide who will play the main roles in our Christmas pageant. Now, you know that we all have very important parts to play. You know what Mrs. Armstrong always says. There are no small parts.
Only small actors.
Isn't that what Mrs. Armstrong always says?
That's what she always says. But she never says what it means.
Well, don't you know what it means?
I know what it means. It means that the short kids have to stand in the front row of the angel choir or else nobody can see them.
Oh, no. It means that the littlest baby angels are just as important as Mary.
I don't think anyone is as important as Mary.
Well, naturally, that's what you think of. I think Jesus is more important. I still think it means that the short kids have to stand in the front row of the angel choir or else nobody can see them.
Girls. Everyone is important. Mary, Joseph, and the short kids. Now, is everyone here? Beverly, could you go out in the hall and see if anyone else is coming? Now, you small children, you're going to be our angels. Please remind your mothers that you'll need bed sheets. And you in the angel choir, you'll need bed sheets too. And if any of you have old bathrobes that we could use, now what's the matter? Oh, well, let's make room for the herdman. Now, what's happened to Beverly?
I think she went home. I think she got sick.
Well, did she say she was sick?
She just left. All I did was, I just said, "Hi, Beverly," and she just left.
I see. Well, could someone please tell Beverly about the rehearsals the next 4 Wednesdays after school? Be here for everyone.
But what if we get sick?
Oh, you won't get sick. Now, Mary and Joseph must absolutely come to every rehearsal.
What if they get sick?
They won't get sick, Elise.
Well, Beverly got sick and we didn't even start yet.
Well, you don't know that Beverly got sick. Now, I want you all to think about Mary. We know what kind of person Mary was. She was quiet, and she was gentle, and she was kind. And the girl who plays Mary should be just that kind of person. Now, who would like to volunteer for that part? Do you have a question, Emma Jean?
No, I want to be Mary. And Ralph over there, he wants to be Joseph.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'll just make a list of the volunteers and then we can all decide who should play the main parts. Okay, Ralph, Herdman. Who else would like to be our Joseph? Elise, did you volunteer?
No.
Please raise your hands. Any of you shepherds? Very well. Ralph Herdman will be our Joseph. Now, Emma Jean has volunteered to be Mary. Oh, who else would like to volunteer for that part? Janet, Roberta, oh, Alice, don't you want to volunteer?
No, I don't want to. I'll be married.
Shut up, Gladys! I'm already married! You be a wise man.
Well, the wise men are usually boys. Of course, they don't have to be.
I'll be a wise man.
Me too, Claudia. If you want to be a wise man? Raise your hand. What's a wise man?
Just raise your hand.
What's left to be?
Some angel.
I'll be that. What is it?
It's the angel of the Lord who brought the good news to the shepherds. Oh, great, I knew it. We do have some volunteers. Hobie, would you like to be a wise man?
No, I just wanted to say I can't be a shepherd. We're going to Philadelphia.
Why didn't you say so before?
I just remembered.
My mother doesn't want me to be a shepherd.
Why not?
I don't know. She just said don't be a shepherd.
I'm not going to be a shepherd.
Oh, yes, you are. What is the matter with you?
I don't want to be a shepherd. Gladys Herdman hits too hard.
Don't be ridiculous. Gladys Herdman isn't going to hit anyone. The angel of the Lord just goes to the field to tell the shepherds that Jesus is born.
And hits them.
Don't be ridiculous. I don't want to hear another word about it from you or from anyone else. Now, no shepherds may quit, and no one may get sick. Now, that's all for today, boys and girls. I'll see you Wednesday at 6:30. Alice, what is the matter with you? I expected you to raise your hand.
I don't know. Let go. Ow!
Oh,
It's Bradley.
I expected you to volunteer. Oh, don't you
Let
want to be
go.
married?
That
Oh,
hurts. Mrs. Bradley.
Oh, come on, Alice. I don't know.
I didn't dare raise my hand. Imogene would have killed me. She said, I'm going to be married in this play, and if you open your mouth or raise your hand, you'll wish you didn't. And I said, I'm always married in the Christmas pageant. And she said, go ahead then. And next spring, when the pussy willows come out, I'll stick a pussy willow so far down your ear that no one can reach it. It'll sprout there and grow and grow, and you'll spend the rest of your life with a pussy willow bush growing out of your ear.
You know she wouldn't do that.
She would too. Herdmans will do anything. You just watch. They'll do something terrible and ruin the whole pageant. It's all your mother's fault.
Jane, Edna McCarthy, did you hear about that? Well, it must be Grace's fault somehow. How else would the 6 of them end up in the Christmas pageant when they ought to be in jail?
Vera Irma Slocum, I just heard that Imogen Herdman is going to be married in the Christmas pageant. I think, is that a fact? All 6 of them? Vera, I live next door to that outfit, and I'd rather live next door to a zoo. Has Grace gone crazy?
Where did they come from? Well, who let them in the church? Imogen Herdman. What kind of a child is that to play Mary, the mother of our Lord? Where was Reverend Hopkins, I'd like to know. She was what? Fisting shut-ins? Well, I'm shut in and she I said they ought to let them hand out programs at the pageant. But then Grace said they don't have programs for the pageant.
They better lock up the church, nail down the silver service, and hide the collection plates before they clean them out.
Couldn't Grace have just sent them away? Told them to go home? What was she thinking? Oh, I feel totally responsible. I mean, if I'd been up and around, this never would have happened.
if I'd been up and around, this never would have happened. Well, let me tell you,
Don't tell me. I'm on your side. Hun, the car's over there.
well, Helen Armstrong is not the only woman in the world who can direct a Christmas pageant. I decided I was going to do the best I could under those circumstances, but now I'm going to make it the best Christmas pageant we've ever had. And I'm going to do it with the Herdmans. After all, they volunteered when no one else
Good
did.
for
and
you,
I don't
Grace. The car's over there.
care. And you're going to help me.
Does that mean?
You have to go. The inn's back here off stage, and the shepherds will come in and they'll gather around
Where
the
do all
manger.
shepherds come from anyway?
What's an inn? It's like a motel where people go to spend the night. What people? Jesus? Oh, honestly, Jesus wasn't even born yet. Mary and Joseph went there
Why?
to pay their taxes. At a motel?
Shut up, Ollie! Everybody shut up! I want to hear her. Begin at the beginning.
At the beginning?
The beginning of the play. What happens first?
Emma Jean, this is the Christmas story from the Bible. Haven't you ever heard the Christmas story from the Bible? Oh, that's what this pageant's about. So I'd better read it to you.
I don't believe that, do you? But they never heard the Christmas story?
Why not? They don't even know what a Bible is and never went to church in their whole life. Your dumb brother told them we got refreshments. Now we have to waste all this time for nothing.
All right. There went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee with Mary, his wife, being great with child.
Pregnant. She was pregnant.
All right. Now, we all know that Mary was pregnant. And it came to pass, while they were there, that the days were accomplished, and that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son.
I don't think it's very nice to call Mary pregnant.
Well, she was.
I don't care. I don't think your mother should say Mary was pregnant. I'm not supposed to talk about people being pregnant, especially in church.
And wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
My God, they didn't have room for Jesus?
Well, they didn't know that the baby was going to be Jesus.
Didn't Mary know? Didn't he know? What was the matter with Joseph that he didn't tell them? Her pregnant and everything.
What's a manger? Some kind of bed?
No, they didn't have a bed in the barn, so they had to use whatever was available. What would you do if you had a new baby and no bed to put the baby in?
We put Gladys in a bureau drawer.
Well, there you are. You didn't have a bed, so you had to use something else.
Oh, we had a bed. Only Ollie was still in it, and he wouldn't get out. He didn't like Gladys very much. Remember how you did like Gladys, Ollie?
That was pretty smart of Ollie, not to like Gladys right off the bat.
Well, anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
What were the wadded up clothes?
The what?
It said there she wrapped them up in wadded up clothes.
Swaddling clothes. People used to wrap babies up very tightly in large pieces of material to make them feel cozy.
You mean they tied him up and put him in a feed box? Where was the child's welfare?
The child welfare's at our house every 5 minutes. There wasn't any child welfare in Bethlehem.
I'll say there wasn't.
And there were shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, an angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory...
Shazam!
What?
Out of the black night, with horrible vengeance, the mighty Marvo!
I don't know what you are talking about, Gladys.
The mighty Marvo, an amazing comet, out of the black night, with horrible vengeance!
This is the angel of the Lord who brings the good news to the shepherds.
Out of nowhere, right? In the black night, right?
Well, in a way. And when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east, bearing gifts of gold and frankincense.
What's that?
And myrrh.
What's that?
Well, they were special things, spices and precious oils.
Oil? What kind of a present is oil? We got better gifts from the get off.
No, they were kings, and they were sent by Herod, who was, well, he was the main king, and he wanted to find Jesus and have him put to death.
My God, they aren't gonna kill a baby?
Who's Herod in this play?
Herod isn't in the play.
He's out to kill the baby, and he isn't even in the play.
Well, somebody better be Herod. Let Charlie be Herod. And he says, go get me that baby. And they say, okay, because he's a king and all.
But then they don't do it. They go back and get Herod. I'm not going to be Herod!
No one is going to be Herod.
No, you're all wrong. Joseph gets the shepherds together and they go wipe out Herod. You see? They're going to put one in. It's going to be me. I'm going to get killed. Forget about Herod. There is no Herod.
And I run away with the baby till the fight's over.
Somebody ought to fix the innkeeper. Gladys, you take care of the innkeeper.
I can't. I'm an angel.
I wouldn't just hang around out in the barn. I'd go get a room.
She said there wasn't any room.
Then I'd throw somebody out. I'd tell them I've got this baby here. And it's the middle of winter. So either get out or move over.
Well, I'd go after Herod.
You know what? I could just send the angel after him. She could just point her electric finger and turn him into a pile of ashes.
Yeah. Zap. What's the name of this place? She never said. Christmas pageant. That's no name. That's what it is. I know a name. I'd call it Revenge at Bethlehem.
Revenge at Bethlehem? The Herdmans thought the Christmas story came right out of the FBI files. At least they picked out the right villain. It was Herod they wanted to gang up on, and not the baby Jesus. But the baby Jesus quit the play anyway. It was supposed to be Eugene Slocum, but Miss Slocum said she wasn't going to let Imogene Herdman get her hands on him. So we didn't have the baby Jesus. And that bothered my mother. She kept trying to scratch at the baby, even at the last rehearsal. What do you keep writing in that book?
It's like a diary.
No, it's not. It's all about the Herdmans. Imogen curses and swears all the time. Ralph talks about sexy things. Miss Bradley called Mary pregnant. Gladys Herdman drinks communion wine. It isn't wine, it's grape juice.
I don't care what it is. She drinks it. I've seen her 3 times with her mouth all purple. And they steal too. If you shake the birthday bin, it doesn't make a sound because they stole all the pennies out of it. And every time you go into the lady room, the whole air is blue. And Imogene Herdman is sitting there in the Mary costume, smoking cigars.
And you wrote all this down? What for?
For my mother and Reverend Hoskins and the Ladies' Aid Society and anyone else who wants to know what happened when the whole Christmas pageant turns out to be a big mess.
My God.
Come down here so we can get started. Now, this is our last rehearsal. And
Grace, I just wanted to tell you we're back in the kitchen making applesauce cake. We'll try not to bother you. I guess this is your dress rehearsal.
well, it's supposed to be.
Oh, Edna, did I hear that your niece had a baby?
Yes. About a month or so ago. A
Yes.
baby girl.
And she's 5 weeks old and she's so precious.
Well, I was wondering how it would be if I were to call your niece and see if we could borrow the baby for the Christmas pageant.
Well, I can make up a lie and tell you the baby was sick or cranky or something. But the truth is, she's perfectly happy and healthy and beautiful. And we want her to stay that way. So we're certainly not going to hand her over to Imogene Herdman. Sorry, Grace. Huh.
Bradley, you can use my little brother for baby Jesus.
I didn't know that you had a new baby, David.
Well, he's not new. He's 4. But he's double jointed and can probably scrunch up.
I'll get us a baby. How will you get us a baby?
Well, there's always 2 or 3 in carriages outside the supermarket. I'll get one of them.
Emma Jean, you can't just walk off with someone's baby. Oh, forget about the baby. We'll just use a doll.
Yeah, that's better anyway. A doll can't fight you.
And Emma Jean, you know that Mary didn't wear earrings.
I have to wear these. I got my ears pierced, and if I don't keep something in them, they'll grow together.
Well, they won't grow together in an hour and a half. What did the doctor tell you?
What doctor?
Well, who pierced your ears?
Gladys.
She probably did it with an ice pick. I'll bet Imogene's ears turn black and fall off.
Well, just forget about the earrings. We'll find something smaller. Now, is this your costume? Is this what you're gonna wear? Oh, you're all supposed to have your costumes on today.
I can't find my halo. My wings got all big. Janet's got my rocket. My mother doesn't have any white cheese. Can I wear one with balloons on it? I don't have any costumes. I was never a shepherd before. You have to wear your father's bathrobe. That's what I have to do. He doesn't have a bathrobe. Well, what does he hang around the house in? His underwear.
Just pretend you're wearing costumes.
Are we going through the whole thing?
Well, of course. But first, we're going to start with just the entrances. So please go where you're supposed to be. And we'll begin with the shepherds. Now, just read the last few lines, Maxine.
Shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night.
Music, shepherds.
And an angel of the Lord appeared to them. And
She's there! Out of the black night with horrible vengeance! Mighty
Go on, Maxine.
a multitude of the heavenly hosts.
Music, angels. Music, wise men.
Hey, I've got the baby right here. Don't touch him. I named him Jesus.
No! Mary doesn't say anything. Mary and Joseph don't say anything. They make a lovely picture for us to look at and to think of the true meaning of Christmas.
Now put the doll back. I don't get to say anything. Some angel tells me what to call the baby. I would have named him Bill.
Oh, what a horrible thing to say!
What angel was that? There's angels all over the place. Was that Gladys?
No, Gladys brings the good news to the shepherds.
Yeah! Unto you a child is born!
Unto me, not them, me. I'm the one that had the baby.
No. That just means that Jesus belongs to everybody. Unto all of us, a child is born.
Why did they let Mary name her own baby? What did that angel do? Just call up and say, name him Jesus?
Yes.
I know what the angel said. She said, his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Almighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
My God! He'd never get out of the first grade if he had to write all that.
Bradley, what should I do?
Oh, we're over. 5 minutes, Maxine. 5 minutes.
We never did start over. And we never did go through the whole thing. 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes. And Imogene Carter spent the whole time smoking cigars in the ladies' room. Then Miss McCarthy went to the ladies' room and saw all the smoke and called the fire department. looking for a fire to put out. But the only one they found was in the kitchen. All the applesauce cake burned up. Of course, all the ladies were mad about that, and Miss McCarthy was mad, and my mother was mad.
Why in the world did you call the fire department about a little smoke?
Well, it was a lot of smoke. The ladies' room was full of thick smoke.
It could have been. You just got excited. And, oh, now look. Oh, there are baby angels out in the street crying. Oh, the shepherds. They're climbing on the fire truck. Half the neighborhood's here. Didn't you know that it was cigar smoke?
Of course I didn't know it was cigar smoke. I don't expect to find cigar smoke in the ladies' room of the church. Oh.
Alice Windleton's mother was mad too, and the whole Ladies' Aid Society was mad, and Reverend Hopkins said she didn't know what to think.
I have been on the telephone all day long, and I just don't know what to think. Somebody said they set fire to the kitchen. Somebody else said they set fire to the ladies' room. Vera Wendleton said all they do is talk about sex and underwear.
No, that was what we were talking about. Underwear, and they didn't set fire to anything. The only fire was in the kitchen, where the applesauce cake burned up.
Well, the whole church is in an uproar. I just don't know. Jesus said, "Suffer the little children and come unto me." But I really don't think he meant the herdmans. Grace, why don't we just cancel the Christmas pageant?
I'll bet that was Helen Armstrong's idea.
You know, we could blame it on the fire. That would make a great excuse.
I'll bet that was Edna McCarthy's idea.
Everyone seems to think it's going to be
A disaster. Well, they are wrong. It is going to be the best Christmas pageant we've ever had.
But Grace, I don't think anyone's going to come see it.
I didn't think so either, and neither did Charlie. But were we wrong? On Christmas Eve, the church was jammed full. Everybody came to see what the Herdmans would do.
Let me get the lights.
Be careful, watch your step.
I can't see a thing. I don't know what in the world you expect to do with this thing.
I thought it was going to look like a palm tree. I see now that it doesn't. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. We've never once been through the whole thing. And the Herdmans, oh, they still think it's some sort of spy story. Why, it'll probably be the first Christmas pageant in history, where Joseph and the wise men get in a fight and Mary runs off with the baby. Oh, where are the kids?
All the kids in the world are downstairs putting on bed sheets.
No, I mean our kids. We're here. Oh, it's getting late, kids. You better get your costumes on.
It's going to be awful, you know. They look like trick or treat, all dirty and fastened together with safety pins, and wearing their moldy old sneakers. Mary and Joseph, I mean, they look like refugees or something.
Well, that's what they were. Mary and Joseph. They were refugees in a way. They were a long way from home. They didn't have any place to stay. They didn't know anybody. They were probably cold and hungry and tired and messy.
I don't know about cold and hungry, but they sure are messy.
Oh, dear. Oh, do you think maybe I should try to clean them up or...
I think you worry too much. Now, I'm going to push baby angels on stage, and I'm going to hand out shepherd's crooks, and I'm going to push them on stage. When do I do all this?
Oh, just follow this script.
Baby angels, shepherds, wise men. It doesn't seem to say here where the fire engines come in.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Where is everybody? Beth and Alice, come on stage so you can help me with the baby angels. Please, everyone come on stage.
stage. And good luck.
Mrs. Bradley, actors don't say good luck. Actors say break a leg.
I know that, Alice, but under the circumstances, that's just a theatrical saying. It doesn't mean to really break your leg or anyone else's. Then, Imogene, try to remember that that is a baby. And for tonight, anyway, it's the baby Jesus.
In the days of Caesar Augustus, a decree went out that all the world should be taxed, and Joseph went into Bethlehem with Mary, his wife, who was great with child. And while they were there, she brought forth their firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. They look awful. And what's she doing with the baby? Oh, I don't think it's very nice to birth the baby's Jesus, as if he had colic.
He could have had colic, just like any other baby.
I don't care. It looks awful, and they look awful.
So what? They just came a long way, and now they don't have any place to sleep. And they have a new baby to worry about.
Who? Ralph and Imogene?
No, Mary and Joseph.
And in that region, there were shepherds in the fields, keeping watch over the flocks by night. Little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sea, the sun and stars go by. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them. The glory of the Lord shone round about, and they were sore afraid when the angel of the Lord appeared.
Hey! Hey! Unto you a child is born. He's Jesus, and he's in the barn. Go see him. Go on, he's over there. Go on.
And suddenly there was a multitude of the heavenly host, saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men. Angels sing When Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east to worship him, bringing gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. We bring these And they look awful too. And what's that Leroy's got? A ham? I'll bet they stole it.
No, I think it's a ham from their welfare basket.
You mean it's their own
should not return to their own country, the wise men departed another way. The shepherds also departed, praising God for all that they had seen and heard. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart.
Look, Mary's crying. Mrs. Bradley, Mary's crying.
Could you believe that was Imogene Herdman and the rest of them? Irma, I believe this was the best Christmas pageant we've ever had. I'm not sure why, but I think it was them. Could that be?
Oh, I always get weepy about the pageant. I guess it's the children and the carols and all, but you're right. This was the best pageant ever, and it should have been the worst.
There was just something different.
Well, the angel of the Lord was different.
Yeah, but I like that. Had lots of spirit. And sometimes you can't even hear the angel of the Lord. You know, I have to find Grace and tell her.
I just wish I'd let them have Eugene to be the baby Jesus now.
Who was the baby Jesus?
Why, he was a doll.
Oh, I don't think so, Irma. That was no doll.
It did seem real.
It did seem real, as if it might have happened just that way. We all thought the Christmas pageant was about Jesus, but that was only part of it. It's about a new baby and his mother and father who were in a whole lot of trouble. No money, no place to go, no doctor, nobody they knew. And then, arriving from the east, like my uncle from New Jersey, some rich friends. Because of the Herdmans, it was a whole new story. Imogene birthing the baby, and the wise men bringing such a sensible present. After all, they couldn't eat frankincense. And even Gladys, he's in the barn, go see him. So the shepherds wouldn't have to stumble all over the countryside. But I guess it wasn't like that for Imogene. For her, the Christmas pageant turned out to be all wonder and mystery, as if she had just caught on to what Christmas was about. When it was all over, we had a party in the basement. But the Herdmans didn't stay. They didn't have any cocoa, and they didn't walk off with all the cookies. They wouldn't even take their candy canes.
I guess that's about it. Are there any more kids downstairs?
So everyone's gone. You do realize that you're wearing your bathrobe? You're not going to wear that home, are you?
Why not?
Oh.
Maybe people will think I was a shepherd. I wouldn't mind being taken for a shepherd this Christmas pageant.
Oh, yes, you would. After the show, some lady came up and hugged me, just because I was a shepherd. Should I bring the ham?
That's the Herdman's ham from their welfare basket. They wouldn't take it back. Leroy said, it's a present, and you don't take back presents.
Leroy said that? Leroy Herdman? He must hate ham.
You and Alice Wendell can
midnight.
That's not far away. Hey, it's almost Christmas.
Almost Christmas, kids.
Almost Christmas, Charlie.
And it came to pass in the days
And there were shepherds abiding.
A multitude praising God